Oh, hi, Mark. All right. So, I am Malachi,
And I'm Fehtsama.
and he does a YouTube channel as well. So, if you haven't already, like the 8 people that are gonna see this video,
Yeah.
if you haven't already, go check out his channel. He does some playthrough. You want to tell him what you do?
Oh, I guess I play like some weird like Japanese sort of hentai games and that. But yeah, mostly it's for the plot, obviously. I'm a man of culture.
Oh yes, a man of culture. That's one way to describe it. Which is why we chose tonight's movie, because Fehtsama is indeed a man of culture. By that, I mean the movie is really sleazy, and so it fits in with hentai games.
Yeah, pretty much.
So The New York Ripper was released in 1982. It was directed by Lucio Fulci, and I have no idea who stars in this movie. Could not tell you.
Yeah, I'm not very good with the stars either.
So I guess I'll just start off with my notes, because I actually did take notes for this. I'm not the most prepared one usually, but I came prepared.
I never took good notes in high school. I'm not going to start now.
I used to take pretty good notes, but when I'm watching a movie, it's like, I'm watching a movie. I don't want to fucking take notes, but I'm thinking of maybe starting doing it to help me stay on track.
I got it all in here.
Yeah, he's got it all up in the old noggin.
Yeah.
So, in the opening shot of the film, the guy, and this is just kind of a funny observation that I had. It's not really going to be in the likes or dislikes category. It's more going to be the just kind of a funny observation.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing fetch with his dog, and his dog brings the hand back to him, well, before his dog brings the hand back to him. Honestly, because once he's brought the hand back, that's besides the point, if I'm being entirely honest.
Yeah.
Because the hand isn't what I wanted to talk about, although it is kind of how everything starts. That's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is, why does it hurt this son of a bitch's balls to squat?
Oh God, I heard about that.
because the first thing he does, he goes to pick up the stick that his dog just dropped at his feet. First thing this old guy says is, "Oh, my balls."
Jeez. What, is he wearing like tight pants or something?
Exactly. They didn't look that tight.
I don't know. Maybe he's just got like old man balls that are just hanging down to his knees or something.
I guess. My God, speaking of balls.
Why didn't he have a ball to fetch to the dog?
Actually, that's a good goddamn question. Why was there no tennis balls? I'm offended.
Yeah.
But speaking of balls, that scene in the bar,
mm-hmm.
This will give you an idea around about how sleazy the film is. More than likely, if you looked up a review for the New York Ripper, you know what the New York Ripper is, presumably, and you know just how sleazy it is.
There were some very fine shots in that video.
Yeah, no doubt. This guy, and this is just kind of Fulci's style at play here, how it kind of, the camera kind of zooms, and it does that multiple times in this movie. But of course, the specific one that I'm talking about, where I felt the zoom was so unnecessary, but it was pretty hilarious, was in that bar scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where the guy was like across the room from that
the rich lady,
Milfalicious.
Yeah.
Yes. He was across the room from Milfalicious, and he has the biggest freaking bulge in his pants.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. I was just like, what is she? Some sort of like exhibitionist pervert or something?
It felt so porno-esque. This guy, just massive bulge, standing on the other side of the room. She's sitting there like biting her lip and shit, and then he walks over and he's like, "The lady lied." He starts towing her.
Yeah.
Which, funnily enough, this film has actually, among my buddy Dakota, you guys have seen Dakota if you've seen a couple of my past videos, probably. He actually refers to this film as The Towing. That's how he knows this film.
Of course.
My other friend even knows it because of the towing scene. Like, I'll be talking about the New York Ripper to my buddy, and he'll be like, "Is that the movie where the lady gets towed?"
Oh, jeez.
And yeah, she gets towed.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'd be being very dishonest if I didn't say she was fucking sexy.
For her age, yeah, she was actually, and she had the whole like what is it, the long coat or whatever, the trench coat, and the garter belt and that. She was very classy with the way that she did her sort of perverted sort of games.
Yeah, no, she was. My God, she was hot to trot. I'm going to share some very confidential information with you guys. Both scenes with her in sexual positions gave me an erection. So,
damn it.
I thought you guys might want to know that.
No information is too much information.
No, there is none. And I really like the opening credit scene, or well, how the film opens with the dog bringing in the severed hand, and the frame just freezes, zoomed in on that severed hand, and the music cues, and then throughout the entire open credit scene, it's just frozen on the severed hand.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I liked that. I actually found myself laughing a little bit because
it felt a little B-movie-ish. Yeah.
That's kind of
what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is. I mean, that's kind of Fulci's shtick. I don't think Fulci has ever made a, very highbrow film.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen Don't Torture a Duckling. I don't think that film is incredibly highbrow.
Don't Torture a Duckling. I hesitate to ask what that movie's about.
It's not bad. I mean, it's you know what? I'll tell you after we're done shooting.
Yeah.
Remind me.
Yeah, definitely.
Just so I don't get off onto a tangent. And speaking of ducks, the killer quacks like a duck.
Oh, yeah.
Which was awesome. It's very unique.
It's a definitely an interesting way to disguise his voice. Yeah, it made me guess, like, who was this particular guy that was the Ripper? Because at first I thought it was, like, maybe the psychologist person or whatever. And I was like, no, they can't be, like, doing that. That's too obvious, Yeah. They're trying to subvert my expectations, so there's got to be some sort of, like, trick or, a switch going on here.
Right, and there is, that is kind of a trope of giallos, which is what this movie is, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen a giallo, but basically they're just Italian murder mysteries that are stylized and tend to be pretty sleazy.
What was that at the beginning scene, one of the women insults the guy, and he's like, "That fucking Italian man." Or
how about the one where he's like, "You should stay in the house where women belong."
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, that's kind of another trope of Italian, like old Italian cinema too. Lots of misogyny.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the killer quacking like a duck. I thought that was pretty interesting because it also kind of gives the illusion that it could be a woman as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, that one's, I'll have to tell you when we get to that part. But there was a part where I was like, "Wait, is it the girl?"
Yeah. No, it kind of I don't know, because it's not just like he's quacking like a duck. Like, he's almost doing some weird combination of, like, Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mickey Mouse, pretty high-pitched, could be a female. Yeah, I've always found that pretty interesting about this movie. And, of course, yeah, you are really led to believe that it's the psychiatrist. There's one part that even becomes a little too much. and that's kind of the part where you're like, oh, it can't be the psychiatrist, because it's like, see, it's the psychiatrist, see, and it's just pushing it in your face, and that's the part where he's like, you think in a line like a cop.
Oh yeah,
or
that
like
one.
linear
Yeah.
like a cop, and it's like, really?
That was where it was starting to really get me, though. I was like, okay, I got to really think about this. Who is this killer? You know, is it the dude that shows up in the middle of the movie, or is it the other guy that's following and being creepy? No, it can't be that guy, or could it be?
Yeah,
or,
that guy's
you
too
know.
damn obvious.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, officer. It was the one-armed man. But,
Missing two fingers, but yeah.
well, yeah,
Same
you know.
thing.
It was a Jim Carrey quote of some kind.
Yeah.
My next note, the reason I'm addressing it as just my next note is because I don't think we're really going to talk about this much, so I don't need a nice smooth transition here. It simply reads, Rosie with the nice cheeks gets brutally killed. Plus, Rosie has nice cheeks. Rosie did have nice cheeks. She was the chick who was riding the bike.
Oh yes, she
Yeah.
did. She had very nice cheeks.
Yeah, her cheeks were pretty pleasant. And of course, you have in this film the Fulci cameo, who he was the chief of police.
Mm-hmm.
He was only in one scene, but it's kind of a.
Oh, so that was Fulci.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was like, you know, you gotta maintain a image that the police have this under control.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of a trope in his movies. He does tend, especially in the early 80s Fulci films, like House by the Cemetery, The Beyond. I think all three of the Gates of Hell films he actually has a cameo in, but maybe not City of the Living Dead. Maybe I just lied. But then the live show, the live nudes.
Oh yeah. That was really interesting. When it was leading into that, and it was talking about the one guy that was listening to the recording that his wife would collect from these sex shows or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, this must be what they did before internet.
Yeah. The guy's just too ashamed, so he's like, honey, go watch a sex show for me, please.
geez.
For the love of God, bring me back the recording. They don't have those anymore, do they?
I don't know if they do or not. Not in America, anyhow. At least it's
Yeah.
not like they don't have. I don't think they have. What is it in Japan, Akihabara or whatever, where it's like
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, over there you probably can go down the street and turn down a corner, and suddenly you're in a row of whores or whatever.
Damn, I gotta go meet a Japan, man. But yeah, the sex show scene. I mean, this isn't the only film with those. There's another kind of notable. Actually, no, that was a lie, or that was a theatrical showing of a porno. Never mind. I was thinking of the scene from An American Werewolf in London.
You know, it actually, the movie references that on one of the panning shots. It actually catches it on the theater. Or
Yep,
whatever. I'm like, it was at that point where the two missing finger dude or whatever, he was chasing her. I was like, this is probably like trying to make a signal to that movie or something.
Yeah. I feel like there was another film in there too, but I didn't note the films that it had that. But yeah, I remember that too. But
one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting in the beginning of the movie, though, was like the oddly quiet, like panning shots, though, of like the different city environment and stuff, and just it gave a weird sense of like familiarity, I guess you could say. I mean, I'm not familiar necessarily with cities. I'm kind of a small town person, but it was like, you know, kind of helped set the mood for like, you know, this is just some sort of quiet down road street or whatever.
you know, another thing about that live show though, the live sex show, that I thought was like really funny, is in that scene someone dies. I forget who dies, but someone gets stabbed in the genitals.
Oh yeah, it was the lady that was in the big stage live show or whatever.
Oh,
In the middle.
yeah.
blonde haired chick, and she like just as soon as the show was done, she's like, okay, time to go back to the makeup room.
Yeah, and then the lady's like, so how was it? And she was like, so. And she's making a big production of it on stage. But she gets stabbed in the genitals by our killer, and she just dies instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. That was what got me kind of like, what? She dies from genital stabbing. It's like, I would be on the floor writhing,
Yeah.
for at least a good half hour or more.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets stabbed once and she goes down. However, there was some really nice lighting in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
I do always like it. This happens quite a bit in Italian films where there'll be kind of an unnatural lighting. And in this case, it was a green lighting. And you're just sitting there wondering to yourself, where the hell is this green lighting coming from? And there's probably no answer to it.
From the artistic perspective, it was interesting just the way that he played with, he didn't like go full budget sort of like style with his sets and all that. It was just kind of sort of basic, maybe you had a green light set up in the corner or something just to kind of give that sort of mood, I guess, whatever green means.
Yeah.
Trashy.
Yeah, probably.
I was actually surprised by the exorbitant amount of pubes that were on display in this movie.
A lot of pubes. And that just ties back into it being super sleazy. Yeah. There's speaking of the sleaze,
mm-hmm.
This guy...
This is important stuff.
This is important. Don't you tune out, you shit-sticking son of a bitch. You listen to me. This guy, when he's sitting there towing the chick, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when he's sitting there towing the chick, the guy's like, yeah, get her silver toes. And I'm like, is this a common activity for you guys?
Oh, what I thought was really curious about that, though, is like it was a weird flip of like males teasing the perverted female instead of like the perverted guy getting caught and getting chastised for being a pervert around all these women. It was an interesting, I don't know what the word is, dichotomy. I don't know if that's the right word.
That might fit.
Yeah.
If I'm being entirely honest with you, I can't remember the definition of that word for the life of me.
And yeah, I've got like random words in my head.
Yeah.
They just come out sometimes.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Kind of felt bad for her once they actually pulled the table out and they're just like, look, see.
Oh yeah.
They were like, they wanted her to admit it before they actually
they were like, ladylike, tell me ladylike, and she was like, no, I don't like, and then she was finally like, yeah, no, I like it, and they're like, aha,
yeah,
just pull the rug out from under her, so to speak. Her rug was still very much attached to her. So
the first scene where we are introduced to her and she's watching this sex show, it was very, I don't know, I'm a little more conservative in my sexual sort of entertainment sort of stuff. So it was just kind of made me uncomfortable how relatable this sort of like scene was of her lip quivering and her like starting to like masturbate in front of this live show.
Right, and this movie's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's some weird stuff for an R-rated film, I must admit.
Yeah, it was like 1987 or something.
1982.
82. Oh
yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
however, it is Italian,
mm-hmm.
and Italians are just more comfortable with sex than Americans are,
mm-hmm.
which is, I would imagine, why there's a lot more of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. It looked like the lip sync was off. Was it translated from Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it originally wasn't.
Yeah. So most of the films that came out of Italy,
mm-hmm.
you're actually more liable to watch the dub
mm-hmm.
than you are the subtitles.
Oh.
For whatever reason, the dubs are just massively available, and in a lot of the cases,
mm-hmm.
subtitles just sometimes there are no subtitles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's usually dubbed. Also, again, completely unimportant, but you know that radio host that pops up when she's tied to the bed?
Oh yeah.
I love that guy. He's just like, leave the ladies alone, baby.
Oh, and he just like, I don't know how that news story got out, who reported on it, but yeah, he's like the two-fingered guy with the missing two fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, no, I'm pretty sure it's not him, but she's going to think damn well it is him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was, with the way they do
that
those...
was neat.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't Shouldn't even try to
Oh,
speak
no,
over
honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm probably going to leave all of this in.
Okay. But yeah, no. What I think was I was half expecting her to like have tear her wrists or whatever, trying to get out of those bindings, just because like the amount of like in horror movies how they use the practical effects pretty often. Like I even noticed that when the one girl gets attacked by her who ends up being her boyfriend. No spoilers, but they put practical
the horror
effects.
review is spoilers.
They put the like stuff on her lips to make them look more chapped than they actually were. And I was like, why didn't they just let her chap her lips? I don't know.
Yeah, that's something that Fulci is very notorious for, is his practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of practical effects, and he also does a lot of eyeball mutilation.
Oh, yeah.
Which there is in this film.
Ooh, yeah, that scene.
It was pretty awesome.
It's pretty awful.
He runs the razor down her face.
Oh, don't remind me.
Like splits her eye open, and there's just all this blood pooling in her eye. That's some impressive looking stuff. He also splits her nipple in half in that scene, which...
No. God damn it. I was lucky my cats were distracting me when I watched that part. I was like, I was like, oh no, here it comes, and then my cats decided to check out what was going on because I was obviously looking distressed. They're like, is the light box attacking you?
Yeah, no, it's just there's not many films that I know of with a nipple split.
Yeah,
that's kind of
true.
an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an interesting piece of gore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, real interesting.
Of course, I'm a gore hound, so like I'm not really affected by the shit.
I can't help but like pretend. My mind goes to thinking, how does it feel to be in that situation?
Yeah, well, see, there's some stuff that does that to me too. Actually, fingernails getting pulled, that messes with me.
Oof.
And actually, probably even teeth getting pulled, that messes with me even more. Teeth are probably the hardest thing for me to watch.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the guy with 2 fingers missing on his hand, he has a penis-shaped cracked pipe.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because why not?
Jeez, yeah, he was definitely like, his game was male prostitute, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in really good shape for a male prostitute.
I was almost thinking I was looking at a David Hasselhoff whenever I saw that body of
him.
I was like, what is this? I mean, he has a pretty, no homo.
No homo, but, I am a straight male, but that's a tasty dish.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he could have been doing so many different things. Why prostitution? But then again, I guess it does kind of explain that he was sex obsessed. So that could be a thing. But the characters in this film, not the greatest.
Yeah.
We don't really get a whole lot of development about them. Our main girl, we get just a little bit of character development with her, where it's kind of established that she wants to be, what was it, in the Olympics?
Yeah, something like that. I didn't really like a couple of the interactions she had with her boyfriend, though, because it was very condescending. Like, he wouldn't let her think for herself, and he was a lot of like, oh, shush, baby, you got an IQ of 182, but, you lack common sense, or something like that. I was just like, this cheesy, like, misogynistic sort of stuff.
Yeah, there is a lot of that in Italian films, but, I don't mind it because it's a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, although oddly, douchebaggery in general pisses me off in films. Like when someone has the douchiest douche face of all time.
Yeah,
they're just being douchey douchebags. I'm like, I want to knock your teeth down your throat. Yeah, but like, the killer, what do we know about the killer? I mean, it kind of gives him a little bit of development in the end there, but from what I can remember of my couple of times having seen the New York Ripper, we don't really know anything about him until that end reveal, where it's like, oh yeah, no, this random little girl that you see in a random shot earlier turns out it's his daughter, and
yeah, I don't know.
she has a
It felt like
debilitating disease.
It was like a cheap shot for the feels, almost.
Yeah.
Didn't really feel like it was well thought out.
No, and it didn't work.
Yeah. But what was it? When I first that one lady gets attacked by the guy, I'm trying to think back because I only watched the movie once, but I was trying to think back. When did we actually see this guy? He's a physics major, so he's not in the psychiatrist's like classroom. When did he show up? As far as I knew, it just showed random girl that was going to get attacked on the subway, and the creepy two-fingered missing dude. Sounds weird saying that.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No. Also, I'm not sure fingered is the right word to use, but...
Well, I mean, we've been using toad, so...
Toad, I guess, yeah. Jeez. But yeah, no, it was just like, okay, so she has a hallucination of the boyfriend killing her, so there's a clue that potentially he's the one. But where did he... I mean, I would have thought, like, potentially having the killer just show up, nonchalantly in an earlier shot or something like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of...
And not to mention, I think that's the first time we actually see the boyfriend character, is he just kind of shows up in her dream, then she wakes up, and... I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
I could actually be wrong.
I mean, there is a chance that maybe in one of the panning shots or something, you might have seen him, like, in his daily life sort of thing, but... Or maybe he was leaving the hospital or something.
Yeah, I thought maybe he had some kind of interaction with her, but I could be wrong. As far as I remember, the first time we see him is in her dream. And, the hard-ass detective type is the hard-ass detective type. That detective wasn't very bright.
No.
He constantly was being outsmarted by the psychologist, and it kind of reminded me of Zombie 3, I guess. You won't get the reference, but where this military guy is like talking down to the scientists.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, that's science fiction. And then it happens. And then he's like, see, I told you. And then he's like, no, this is science fiction. I don't know what you're talking about. And he kind of channeled his inner general from Zombie 3 a couple of times.
Yeah.
I wrote down red herrings, which we've already kind of covered.
A little bit, yeah.
This movie has a shit ton of red herrings, as is the way with giallos. And it's a thing. I do like that we don't know exactly who the killer is.
Yeah. I was definitely whenever I sat in there, I'm okay. Let's see how quickly I can actually find out who this killer is, and I feel like maybe a more modern sort of horror movie might have given me more credence to analyze the situation earlier, because it did throw a few curveballs like before it revealed any kind of like sensible clue to who this guy was. I think if I had thought about it a little bit more, the fact that the boyfriend was shushing the girlfriend over. Hallucinating that he was the killer. If I had given it more credit in that sense, I would have been like, oh yeah, he's trying to make her quiet. My brain goes to thinking, though, why would he attack someone that's so close to him? It just seems like...
Yeah, that didn't make much sense, because his whole motivation was like, oh, they're healthy. They don't get to be healthy.
Yeah.
And they're adults, and they don't get to be adults, because my daughter will never be an adult.
I can't help but feel there was some slight pedophilic themes to that too, like slightly, like the fact that well, maybe not. I don't know. It felt like he was envious that these women had grown up to be women, and that his daughter would never grow up to be a woman, and I don't know. It just kind of gave a bit of like, but then the murderer could have been messed up in the head, and just I don't know. It just kind of. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's that deep Freudian shit. Yeah. I didn't really catch that vibe. I could see how you could have, though.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be beyond Fulci to include pedophilia in his films.
I was just...
It includes that in Don't Torture a Duckling, fun fact.
Oh. That's awful. Where can I watch this?
Yeah, right. And then Peter, the killer, he gets a pretty great death. However, I don't think it would kill you.
Yeah.
Where in the end of the film, he's going to attack his girlfriend, which I think you were actually going to mention something about how at one point you thought maybe she was the killer.
Yeah. When, as far as I could tell in that one scene, she connects the dots that the knife was missing a chip on the end of it, and that was related to the kitchen knife that the Ripper was using to attack all these women. So she picks up the phone, and as far as what I could tell, she was using the duck impersonation to get the boyfriend's attention, I think.
Yeah, I could see how it could seem like that.
Unless he was hallucinating at that point. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
I was pretty confused the first time I saw this film, so I don't actually fully disagree with you, because the first time I saw this film, when the shit was going down, like, my brain was going through mental gymnastics. I was like, oh shit, it's the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And then that shit starts happening, and she stabs her boyfriend. I'm like, oh shit, it's her.
Yeah, exactly. And then he gets on top of her and starts talking in the duck quack voice or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just like, okay, he's snapped. It is him. Okay. And that was a little bit. That's probably the highlight of the movie. Obviously, it's the climax, but yeah.
Fuck, it was recording. No, it wasn't.
No, now it's recording.
Okay. We have a timestamp now.
God damn it. Well,
what have we done?
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, Peter gets shot in the face.
Mm-hmm.
The gore explosion, pretty sweet. Would not kill him though.
Yeah. There was a couple of times that I thought like it was just like old timey sort of movie magic or whatever. Like the Cowboys and Indians, where the guy would get shot in the chest just once, and he just like grabs his like left side of his chest and falls to the ground dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's pretty funny because depending on how the movie feels, it's like you can either get stabbed once in the kneecap and you will fall over dead, or you'll get stabbed 17 times in the jugular and you'll still be going like this and trying to fight off the killer.
What was that? Wasn't it in that movie where the guy was literally like sitting there bleeding out of his neck? No, there was a movie. I can't remember if I was watching that movie or if it was another one. But the guy was literally like... I don't know. Was there a man attacked in that movie, or was it all women? I forget.
There was. I want to say there was at least one man that died.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Yeah, but it looked pretty deadly. But he was still. Oh no way! I am kind of being a little bit of a goof here. I'm mixing up a movie death with a video game death that was in Call of Duty.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. The one girl like stabs him several times in the chest, and then he cuts him in the throat, and he's still able to like talk and stuff. That's where I was like kind of tilting my head a little bit though at the movie deaths, because I was just like, there's a lot more modern movies that are showing like these people still able to be conscious and express their final thoughts as they're dying and stuff, not just like, oh, I got stabbed in the groin, I'm suddenly dead.
Yeah.
My clit no longer works.
Yeah. And then the movie kind of ends with that, with one of those tracking shots you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's kind of panning along, and this time it's panning along with the ambulance. And the ambulance crosses, I'm pretty sure that's the area where they found the hand in the beginning of the film, so it kind of ends where it begins.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, though.
So those are pretty much all the thoughts that I have on the film. I think I'm going to go ahead and give the film a 7. A 7 out of 10.
I don't know. I would put a 7 in the video, but he's probably not going to be able to put a 7 in his video.
I can't put a 7. At least I could put a 7 in there. However, I could not put a 7 in his hand. So...
Got to get him an editing station.
Yeah, I edit on my phone, as you can tell. I'm sure. But,
I mean, YouTube put it there. Might as well use it.
Yeah, I don't even use the YouTube editing thing.
Oh, you don't?
YouCut.
Oh, geez. Well, shoot, yeah, it saved my bacon a couple of times though, because like there's times whenever I'm playing my lewd games and I'll accidentally miss like a split second of something that's raunchy or whatever. And one time a person was like, "Oh, this isn't edited out," and I was able to put a blur spot in there without having to take the video down and lose all the stats.
But yeah, I'm going to give the film about a 7. I've honestly never been a huge fan of the New York Ripper. As big of a Fulci fan as I am, Fulci is my favorite director. The New York Ripper has always been one of his lower end films for me. Well, actually, kind of in the middle as far as his films go. But on this watch, I think I liked it more than previous watches. It kind of seemed like maybe... I was going in fully expecting to give this movie about a 6. I came out, I think I enjoyed it a little more this time. I was kind of laughing along with it, even though I think it's also because I've kind of become acclimated to the sleaze. Back when I first watched this film, the sleaze actually made me a little uncomfortable, but I've watched a lot more of the sleaze.
Yeah, he's what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but whenever I first started playing like all my little lewd games and stuff, it was a fling, and then now it's like I'm going into a murder death hobo sort of scenario, and I'm like, I'll be fine. Yeah,
but yeah, so yeah, this time around I'm gonna give it a 7. I enjoyed it more than I remembered enjoying it.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
All right. Are there any other thoughts that you'd like to express?
Not really, not off the top of my head. But yeah, if you like some really campy old horror movies, it's not too bad to be playing. You might not want to play with like your kids in the room or whatever,
or your mother,
or your mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I could appreciate some of the sleazier parts. It was just not like as if they were babying you about some of the more mature themes. So yeah.
So yeah, that's our review of the New York Ripper. Fehtsama.
Yes.
This. God, I'm blanking. I had like a spiel that I wanted to deliver, and now I'm blanking on it. But if you're into like tiggle anime biddies, Fehtsama is your guy. He does playthroughs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to be sort of one of those edgy let's play sort of people. The only format I know how to do is like the traditional like old 2010s, like, you know, you turn on the camcorder and you have the gameplay on screen, and that's how you deliver your content. But yeah, if you like getting into some darker themes, but also some very very lovely thighs and some very lovely
thick thighs save lives.
Exactly. Yeah, that's sort of the stuff I get into.
Yeah, so check him out at Fehtsama on YouTube.
And
that's Fehtsama.
Yeah, I think we can put that in the description. So
okay, yeah. So he may have to do that because I don't know how to link another thing in the description. But yeah, this has been our review for the New York Ripper, and I hope to collaborate with Fehtsama on other stuff. Hopefully more movie reviews, because I had a lot of fun with this one. And I will catch you guys on the next one.